Hey, business owners, we know you know the importance of maximizing every dollar. With the Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business American Express card, you can make your expenses work just as hard as you. From afternoon coffee runs to stocking office supplies and even team dinners, you can earn miles on all your business expenses. Plus, you can earn 125,000 bonus miles for a limited time through October 29th. The Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business Card. If you travel, you know. Minimum spending requirements and terms apply. Offer ends October 29th, 2025.
Welcome to episode 100. Yes, the magic 100. We're into triple digits of the Inside Job Boards and Recruitment Marketplaces podcast. I am Stephen Rothberg. I'm the founder of College Recruiter Job Search Site, where we believe that every student and recent grad deserves a great career and that it should be easy and inexpensive for employers to hire them. Peter, great to see you and looking forward to what should be a monumental episode.
Thank you very much. 100 doesn't quite match our ages when you add them up. But if we add in Ethan's, then we get to 100.
Or 300.
Well, let's not go there. Anyway, I'm Peter Zollman, founder of the AIM Group. We provide business intelligence, conferences, and consulting for job boards and recruitment marketplaces. Just finished up a wonderful Rec Buzz in Vienna. You both should have been there. But the next year's is in Budapest, and you both ought to be there.
You don't have to say Budapest twice to me. I've spent quite a bit of time there in my travels and love that city. So just sign me up. I'm your first register.
Going to Budapest makes me feel hungry.
Oh, no.
Okay. Bad joke. Out of the way for the entire podcast.
Yeah, good chance.
I have one saved up already. Ethan Bloomfield of Vital Few. Tell us what Vital Few is and why you're sitting in Costa Rica. And then we'll get to the question of what the heck happens to job boards in the next 5 years, ChatGPT or otherwise.
Sounds great. First of all, thank you both for inviting me to participate in your show. Longtime friend, follower, and occasional watcher of all things podcast and video.
What do you mean occasional?
You heard me.
Okay.
If you look behind me, you know, my story is about 8 years ago, before COVID, my wife and I decided to buy a home in Costa Rica. And we said, we'll live there for a year and see if we like it. And maybe it'll be a summer home. Maybe we'll live here. And then, of course, we slipped into COVID and 5 years go by and we're just kind of like Costa Ricans now, right? So we've lived here for about 8 years. We love it. In the jungle. It's about to start our winter, which is rainy season. So I'm enjoying the last days of working outside where it's audible and it's not raining. Vital Few is a consulting business I started 10 years ago this month with ZipRecruiter and Ian Siegel as my first client. When I decided to leave the company and start this organization to help job boards, publishers, media companies, everybody in TA tech to grow. Worked with at least one of you in that context on this call, on this meeting.
College Recruiter is a client for sure.
Absolutely. And Vital Few, the premise was always, let me help you with the 20% of inputs or activities that give you the greatest bang for your buck, or the 80%. So Vital Few is a way to describe the Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule. And what I do in my consulting work is to help founders, executives, business leaders, sales leaders to focus time and energy on the 20% of things they can control each and every day that have the 80% of impact. And it's not always that perfect, but that's what we try to do. And so I've been doing that for 10 years. Even if it's looked like I found a home, I was still doing this, still consulting. And even when I've been places full time, I've actually just been a contract employee. So
enough commercial. Chris Foreman, founder of Appcast, in his presentation at Rec Buzz, said essentially in 5 years, job boards may still exist and may be very valuable, but will be supplanted by the AI generated job guaranteed offer or semi-guaranteed offer. How does that play into your ChatGPT replaces job boards? And let's refer to it maybe not as ChatGPT, but the longer
I think it was ChatGPT replaces Google.
replaces Google for job boards. And you mentioned something about AIO, and here comes Peter's only bad joke of this. It
Uh-oh.
sounds like for old McDonald, AIAIO.
Well, thanks for making Steven's jokes look normal,
Right?
right? That was a great. You guys have a great foil. First and foremost, let's talk about what AIO is.
Yeah.
AIO is a term now being used to describe optimization in the same way we described search engine optimization, SEO. And we spend a lot of time, effort, and energy on getting rankings on Google and Bing. AIO is simply the same set of principles for the AI platforms, the Chat GPTs, the Perplexities, the Geminis, the Groks of the world. Um, Interesting you mentioned Chris Foreman. I heard his idea that the world would be replaced by job offers in Tampa at the really nice conference Peter Weddle put together in TA Tech in Tampa. What was it, a month ago or so? And I heard that idea. He added the Chat GPT, I believe, because he and I had a coffee at 6 o'clock in the morning or maybe earlier. I was like, have you been watching what's happening with traffic to publishers and even your own job ads? Have you seen the massive increase in penetration of AI interfaces, specifically ChatGPT? And he actually got right on the phone or in an email with one of his team to ask them to dig into it. And he had one word for me, two words. He goes, "Oh my God, it's
That's three.
parabolic." Three. It's parabolic. Parabolic means that the growth of percent of traffic from a referral source that was coming from Chat GPT in the last 3 to 4 months has done a major curve up into the right. So the idea that Chat GPT and its similar sites could replace Google starts with asking yourself this question. If you use an AI like Chat GPT, when you have a question about something going on in the world, in the universe, do you start on Google or do you start in an app? For me, the answer was already simple. I don't ask Google questions anymore. I ask it to go to domain sites. I ask, to websites.
Mhm.
I don't ask it questions. I ask ChatGPT all my questions that I have throughout the day, ranging from recipes to looking for funny stories to tell about either of you two fine gentlemen. I didn't find any, by the way.
Hi, I'm Carmen Hudson. I'm the host of the Recruiting Book Club, and we're starting our second season. I'm so excited to bring to you another set of guests of recruiters who have written books. We are excited to have some very special guests this season. We've got Shally, we've got Craig Fisher, James Ellis, and quite a few other people that we're going to bring on board to tell us about what they wrote, why they wrote it, and maybe we'll veer off into a conversation about recruiting on all types of topics and subjects that happen in our industry. So I hope you can join us. I'm excited.
Let's break, if we can, let's break the job board recruitment marketplace industry into two different pieces. Because I think the way that SEO and AIO work, in my mind, for a large job board or provider like an Appcast, a ZipRecruiter, and Indeed, is really different than for a really small provider, somebody who might have thousands or tens of thousands of visits a month. So maybe first start, how much of let's not get into what's the impact. Let's just talk about how big of an impact it is for the large and then the small.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I haven't done a lot of digging into the small yet.
Use your crystal ball, baby. Use your crystal ball.
Referral traffic, it will eventually grow to 70 to 80% of referral traffic for all job boards.
Big and small. And eventually, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, again, crystal ball.
The Moore's Law thing doesn't apply to what AI is doing. I've been trying to track, just look at ChatGPT's user acquisition versus a Facebook. We've always done this, AOL versus Facebook versus this versus that. and how many years it took them to get to like 100 million, right? And everybody in that story is years, mostly 6, 7, 8 years. ChatGPT was months. The advances, it so quietly happened where they added the internet, the entire thing. You remember when we first started playing with AI? It
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
this is only through September of 2021. I
yeah.
can't find you anything real time. And then one day we woke up and the world had changed, and I almost didn't notice it. Now I do, and now I recognize how big of an impact it's having. So, yeah, I think it moves faster than anything we've ever seen before. Maybe not a year to 70, 80%, but it certainly becomes the predominant way people search and ask questions of the internet itself. And I know it's my exclusive home base now where Google always was.
The time we have left is very limited, so I'm going to give you 90 seconds to answer this question. What are the one or two things that every recruitment marketplace should be doing now
Mm,
to prepare and to work on AIO and to move forward?
perfect.
Thank you. That is the exact question I had wanted you to ask and had been thinking about. First and foremost, I am not an SEO or an AIO expert, and I would find one. Here's what I've learned, and here's what I would advise everybody to do. First and foremost, our business models for many of us are in CPC. CPC means we have to have dynamic job URLs that change based on things like bids. The problem is when you get results with dynamic URLs and you click on them, you end up on Indeed or on ZipRecruiter on a search page, not on the page of the job. So the first thing I would do is at least have an implementation of your site that has static job URLs, so that the user experience from the AI to your job isn't a click and then an additional search. You want them to just click to the job. So that's number one. Number two, from what I can tell, is everything in the results it's generating from the web are based on Bing, not Google, Bing SEO. Whatever you can read and know about Bing SEO is what you should be doing to your site, to your job listings, whatever submission forms they have. And for a lot of us, we've overlooked Bing because it represents what, like sub 10% of internet search. And we focus all of our time and energy on Google. Well, the world's changed. Now, that doesn't mean ChatGPT is the only one. Google has Gemini right in their search. It's starting to catch up. It will, Google will catch up. They can't give up this whole thing. That being said, your experience on Google will become more like ChatGPT and everything else remains. So use the SEO that you know now. Static URLs are important. And if you know somebody at these platforms, if you're a big enough organization that can get a conversation going with OpenAI, ask them what you can do to be more relevant. The last thing that I've read from the AI platforms themselves is that building with their APIs and allowing them to capture and hold your data, which is job listings, is a key way to get included in their results.
You mentioned you're not an AIO expert. Where does one find one? Not names, but just where do you find an AIO expert? And then we're going to wrap up because we're already 2 minutes over.
EIAIO, I would just go to ChatGPT and ask it, is what I would start with. Certainly on LinkedIn, it's being talked about a lot. It's a relatively new profession. Talk to your SEO guys. Ken Schaefer's an expert, talk to guys like that about how they're looking at it. And I think he was one of the first to point out, just be great at SEO. And I think that's where it stands today. Just be great at SEO, but specifically for Bing, because that's the backbone to ChatGPT's internet.
Stephen, you wrap up.
Excellent advice. Yeah. For those who don't happen to know, Ken Schaefer, Chris Foreman, whatever, I'll put their contact information into the show notes. Ethan, thank you very much. I do think that it's amazing what you've done, 10 years ago. And I don't mean Costa Rica. I mean, it's amazing that you found somebody who was willing to marry you. So cheers, my friend.
And you know her, and she is going to love that part of this episode.
Oh, hell yeah. Great to see you guys. Thank you for sharing,
Thanks,
Ethan.
guys.
Happy 100.